right. Thank you for tuning in to the Imperfectly Inspirational Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bowman. We're so glad to have each and every one of you here and listening in this week. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to our podcast. This way you don't miss any of the newest episodes. Also, if you're looking for a little bit more content, some more inspiration throughout the week, and sometimes a little bit of a hint of what might be coming up, go ahead and follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/imperfectlyinspirational. So let's go ahead and dive into the topic this week. And, I was thinking, and that is actually sometimes a very dangerous thing for me is to think, but nonetheless, I was sitting there thinking the other day of, it's July, and this is when we're recording this podcast. It's July. It's past the middle of the year, and I haven't fully accomplished my goal that I set out to accomplish. I kind of fell off the bandwagon of it at the end of April. And, I did better than I have in the past, but I still fell off the bandwagon. I'm working on getting back on and making some of those changes I was looking to make. But how many of us actually every year make a New Year's resolution? And I know some people say, I don't make a New Year's resolution. I don't like those things. Well, they make some sort of a goal. Everybody does at the beginning of the year. There's always even a subconscious, like, I'd like to do better at this. Okay. Well, that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Where are you at in life? What can you do to get there? And the title that I titled this podcast is more of a clickable title, but it does kind of go with the passage that we're going to read today. We're going to be reading out of Matthew 25, verses 14 through 30. This is the parable of the talents. And if you've been around anything Bible related, you've probably heard this. It is a little bit longer than I'm used to reading on here, but we're going to read the whole passage because we need it all. So, Matthew 25, verse 14 says, "For it will be like a man going on a journey, who called his servants and entrusted them to his property. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his ability. Then he went away. He who had received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 talents more. And also he who had the 2 talents made 2 talents more. But he who had received the 1 talent went and dug in the ground and hid his master's money. Now after a long time the master of those servants came and settled the accounts with them. And he who had received the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 talents more, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Here I have made 5 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. And he also who had the 2 talents came forward, saying, Master, you delivered to me 2 talents. Here I have made 2 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. He also who had received the 1 talent came forward, saying, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here you have what is yours. But his master answered him, You wicked and slothful servant. You knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I scattered no seed. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was my own with interest. So take the talent from him, and give it to him who has the 10 talents. For to everyone who has will more be given, and he who has an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the worthless servant into the outer darkness, in the place where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." So, this is a good parable, and I like it because it kind of wakes me up to myself. Let's recap from the beginning. What happened? Why did he give each one different amounts of talents? That is because it said to each their own ability. He entrusted with them something that only they could handle, right? He didn't give the one guy 5 talents because he more than likely knew he was going to screw it up in some way or another, but he gave him something to test it out. And he proved that he wasn't capable of it. Now, a lot of people want to give flack to this guy and say, yeah, how dare he? He should have invested, he should have done. But some people still are now, but everybody was that guy at one point. I was that guy at one point. If you gave me a bunch of money and said, here, watch this, protect it, I probably would have buried it too at one point in my life because that is all I knew. I didn't realize investing, or I was scared of it, or I didn't know the right way to do any of it. I didn't know how I could make the best out of that situation and make it better until I decided to get out of my comfort zone and learn. Until I decided to pray, God, give me some wisdom, help guide me in the directions that I can go to be worthy of more talents, to learn to do the right thing. Now I feel confident that God would probably at least give me the 2. Maybe not the 5 yet, but each and every one of us want to be responsible for something, which means we want something in life big. Whether it's you want wealth, whether you want a new position, whether you haven't started a family and you want a family. There are things that we all want to be in charge of or responsible for, right? Because if you have wealth, you're responsible for all that. If you have a new position, you're responsible for your workers. If you have a family, there's a responsibility there. My question to you is, are you worth it? Are you worth that thing that you want in life? And I want to make it clear that I am not preaching a prosperity gospel. I don't believe in that, but I do believe that the things in life that you're looking to get are attainable. Life is abundant. There is so much out in this world, but it is up to you to make sure that you are doing the right things to get that abundance in this life. Not everybody is going to have wealth. Not everybody is going to be able to have a family. Not everybody can be the boss. But there are things in this life that can be attainable for you based on what your abilities are and what your willingness is in this life. I want to give an example about money. Say you want to make $500,000 a year. At this moment in this life, what would you do with $500,000? Would you go and blow it on all the best things? Would you actually give to the correct people, meaning help the right situations out? Would you squander all your money away and that $500,000 would have gotten you nowhere? Kind of like the man with 1 talent. Or would you do the correct things? Would you invest it in a business? Would you help out an organization that really does need it? Would you follow the guidance of God? Are you wise enough to do that? Maybe you want a promotion. Are you worth that promotion? Do you have the ability and knowledge that is superior to the ones that are currently in that position? Are you able to treat fairly and justly and with a loving heart your associates or anybody that may be below you at work? Are these things who you are today? Also, maybe you want a family. Maybe you haven't started a family yet and you're looking to do that in the future. Are you capable of showing love to somebody else? Are you capable of putting your needs second? See, these are things that people don't realize when they're out and they're busting their butt on a business and they're working and they're working and they're working, or maybe they're at a job working and working and they just can't get that promotion and they just can't get to that goal. Or maybe you're wanting to lose weight. Maybe that was one of your New Year's resolutions. I know I've seen this a lot as well. You just want it, but you never really get it. It's because, I'm sorry, you haven't made yourself worth it. I'm not saying you're not worth it, but you have not made yourself worth that thing that you want. So we all have to realize there is a personal responsibility that we have to take, and that's a hard pill to swallow. It took me a while, especially when I heard a similar message given to me before. It is a hard pill to swallow, but when you realize that you are in control of your destiny and control of the situations in your life, as one of the guys I listen to another podcast, and he does a wonderful thing. His name's Rob Dial. It's wonderful. But he likes to say a lot of times, you're not a tree. You can move. You don't like the situation that you're in life. You don't like what's going on. Change it. You literally can change it. But as a Christian, I want us to make sure that we understand who is in control, and that's God. God is the leader. God is the supreme authority, but we have free will. But if we tune into God and we tune into the understanding that he can help guide us in those directions, that with prayer and dedication, he can help give us the wisdom, he can help lead us and teach us the lessons so we can be more appropriately aligned with what we're wanting in life. See, to even get to the position I've been at today, God has had to, he's had to put a whooping on me several times. Whether it's health situations, whether it's financial situations, I have had to learn a lot of lessons, but I would pray specifically, God, listen, I'm tired of doing this. I want to make a change. I need some help growing. I want to learn how to deal with these situations. This is what my goal is in life. And I'm going to tell you, if you're not ready for it, don't pray for it. because God will put you through situations to help you grow and to help you learn and realize. And if you don't learn and if you don't grow, guess what you're going to do? You're going to keep going through those situations over and over and over again. And one of the best ways to start is to go back into your life and think, what is it that I really want? And what am I doing right now? What is it that my daily routine is? What is my attitude toward people? What is my attitude toward everything? Because I need to change that. Because obviously the position in life that I am right now, I'm not happy with it, so I need to change it. Maybe I need to start a different morning routine. Maybe you don't read. Let's start reading some more. Maybe you don't exercise. You know what? Instead of spending all afternoon when you get off work watching TV, get up and go on a walk. Just go on a walk. I'm not saying you have to go run a marathon. Go on a walk. Maybe you eat too much food. Don't eat as much. Just once you get full, push the plate away. Or maybe you want to pay off your debt. You don't need that new pair of shoes. It's things that it sounds easier than it really is. I'm going to be honest. It's hard. It's difficult. I've done it, and I still fail every day. That's because we're not perfect, right? It takes a lot of mental discipline to get there. And I can tell you I'm not there yet because there's still changes I need to make. And it's going to be hard for each and every one of us to get there. Some people, it might be easier. They may have some better discipline. And God bless you if you do. Contact me. I need some help. Because I don't have that much discipline. That's the hard part for me. But there's so much more to this life, though, folks. And I don't want you to miss out on the opportunities of abundance, whether it be you're looking for abundance in finances, whether you're looking for abundance in your family life, or maybe you're looking for abundance just to be able to sit back and enjoy life more. But you're never going to get to those points until you realize, are you worth it? Are the things that I'm doing, is the person that I currently am worth this situation? And I'll tell you, you are worth it. You're worth all these things in your life, but it's just hidden. You got to discover it. And it is a beautiful journey to get there. It could be a tough one, but it is a beautiful journey to get to that point and understanding when you wake up and realize, you know what? I've been missing out on so much. I've been holding myself back. And once you break free from those chains, and what do we call Jesus? He's our chain breaker, right? It is through him, it is through faith in him, and it is through adamant prayer and guidance from him that we can break those chains of bondage that have been holding us back. And we can get into the life that we so believe, that is in our heart, that God has set us to believe in. Because I believe each and everybody has a path in life, and the thing that you're most serious about is what God has set you on. But you have to be ready for it. And you can say, well, Chris, God used some bad people in the Bible to be able to do things, people that were vile and just nasty and whatnot. Yeah, he did. He did, but you want to know what the thing was about those people? They were willing to listen. They were willing to change. God didn't use them. God didn't put them in a new direction in their life the same way that they were. God put them in a direction in their life once they were willing to accept him, accept his message, and make the changes that he said were necessary. And that's what it takes to get that better life. So you know what? Show me the money, right? That's the title of this episode. You want more out of life? Show me the family. Show me the better job. Show me the peace, right? These things are available to you in life, but you got to follow God's direction. You got to listen to what he says and be willing to make that change. Like I said, you're not a tree. You can move. But anyways, folks, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I just want you to have a wonderful week. Don't be scared to embrace the change in your life. Don't be scared to make that move. And you know what? You got this. I love each and every one of you. See you next week.